Thank you for tuning in once again to his Vine and Fig Tree podcast. My name is Kurt Olson. I'm your host. I'm coming to you on the early afternoon of December 10th, 2025. And there's several quick hit pieces that I want to share with you. Um, and we're going to start overseas because there are two things that involve Israel and Hamas, or Israel and neighbors. The first one was on the anniversary of Bashar al-Assad being booted out of Syria a year ago. The Syrian army decided to march through the streets of, I'm assuming it was Damascus. I don't know if it was one of the other cities like Aleppo or whatever. But the bottom line is they were shouting, they were chanting things favorable to Gaza. The harsh reality is this: if anyone thinks Israel isn't taking notice of what's going on north of their border, you're crazy. And the person who now leads Syria, Al Jalani, this guy's former Al Qaeda. And does anyone really think his military doesn't have affections for that part of Islam and what we have seen in a multitude of other Muslim countries? Um, you just get the feeling that there's going to be a moment in time where Israel feels they have to deal with Syria hard because their military continues to do crazy things or say crazy things like they were with that. There's a second item here, and there's going to be a multitude of links because I want people to check these things out at their leisure. Um, Came across something just the other day, um, and this is a hidden warehouse or some location on the Gaza Strip where, remember the clarion call for Israel and America to stop the the hunger and uh the killing of Gazans by lack of food. Well, come to find out that there is a location on the Gaza Strip where they were intentionally putting infant formula and nutrition shakes that apparently are commonplace on the Gaza Strip, but the Gaza Ministry of Health, translation, Hamas propaganda arm, was successfully making the case to the US media, other media around the world, that those those nasty Jews in Israel were starving uh, Gazan kids. No, actually, it was Hamas doing it to their own. And so there's that. Another thing I'm going to link in to this podcast is a short little segment from a sharp conservative lady by the name of Mary Catherine Ham. If you don't know this lady, you need to. My guess is if you watch enough of Fox or CNN, you have seen her emerge over time. But Mary Catherine Ham is this great voice for conservatism, and um, she was making the case that Erika Kirk is a strong woman, and she is. And all of this chatter that's going on now with Candace Owns and what she's saying and what she isn't saying and whatever. Um, The thing that bothers me the most since the assassination of Charlie Kirk is how the mainstream media have attacked Erika Kirk. And then when you add to that the drama that Candace Owns has had playing out, it just really makes me angry. And I fully admit this comes from my upbringing, being raised by a mom who was a widow, never remarried. And my mom was forced to do things on her own. But when I see this happening to a strong woman on the right who had her husband murdered, the father of their children murdered, it really makes me angry. But Mary Catherine Ham makes an eloquent case for um, Erika Kirk being a legitimate voice, and people should leave her alone. So I'm going to link that in this podcast as well. Fourthly, Kent State University. Very recently, and I'm linking this story into the podcast as well. There was this group called Vocal Intensity Acapella Group. They were doing some tryouts for some production that they were doing, and white people singing songs that are traditionally for blacks or other cultures became quite the little dust up, to the point where this group did not allow white people to play certain music. And then one of the longtime members of this group spoke up and raised some concerns with a board member of Kent State University. And for those of you not familiar with Kent State, it's in Ohio. Kent State is a prominent Northeast Ohio college. And Mark Phillips, once he raised these issues with the leadership of the school, he basically had a series of very interrogating questions asked of him. And the next thing you know, he's being forced to resign. I want everybody to, at your leisure, just read the story from campusreform.org and ask, wow, this is the kind of thing that is passing for higher education in America. Okay, it's Kent State. It's not Yale, Harvard, UCLA, Northwestern, variety of other places, but it it captures a very bad thing going on. Thirdly, or next to last here, Donald Trump, President Trump, emerged at a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. So, Americans are concerned about the economy, and Donald Trump is hitting the road to make the case that no need to be concerned. I'm going to link in a 30-second soundbite that came. It was covered by Fox. I believe that's who uh, produced the soundbite. And I realize it's only 30 seconds, and some people might say, that's not very fair to Trump. He was saying X and Y and Z and A and B and C, and that really didn't capture the point. But what I'm suggesting here is this: if this is the message he's going on the road with, good luck winning the midterms next year, because there's no meat to this message if that's what he's presenting to people on the road. The last thing I'm going to link in this podcast is and I've mentioned this person in the past. His name is Peter St. Onge. He's a former economics professor, and spent some time, I don't know if it was at the Heritage Foundation, American Enterprise Institute, one of them. And he is basically making the case there is a massive room here for people to be working in the trades, and we would be wise to start doing so. Ford doesn't have enough auto mechanics for their trucks. Um, there is 400,000 manufacturing jobs, and the trades are there to be launched into by people who are willing to do so. And I will let him explain it because he does so far more eloquently than I will. But this is something happening in our economy right now. And we are sending kids to these indoctrination mills, and they're coming out with degrees that are useless. Meanwhile, we have legitimate jobs in our economy that people could be uh, taking risk in doing, and they would have some legitimate opportunities there. I realize this is a shorter his Vine and Fig Tree podcast. Um, but these are a series of things that when I saw them, they just grabbed my attention. I've been I remain concerned about what's going on with Israel and Hamas. I dislike what I see being said about Erika Kirk in the media. I've talked in recent weeks about the affordability issue. Trump's going on the road with his message. Want you to take that up. Meanwhile, Peter St. Ange is making the case for the trades, something that often gets overlooked, something that often is uh, not appreciated. And these are people that can make a very healthy living. Um, and so that's all I have this week. My story this Sunday that I'm dropping, and this is going to be the only teaser for this, I'm getting around to writing on the issue of Somalia. Uh, the story that has exploded in the last 3, 4 weeks. I'm going to be writing about for the first time. So I'll be looking for that. If you like what you're seeing on this podcast, thank you. If you like what you're reading, thank you. Please share it. And we'll be doing something a little different around the holidays. Even the column's going to be a little different at the end of the month. And until next time, God bless and goodbye.